Hello students, welcome to InstaOwl Science class where we believe in democratizing education for all. Students, in the previous session we explored food chains, ozone protection and the impact of human activities. And now let's talk about something we see every day but often ignore: garbage. Wherever we go, cities, towns, villages, we can easily spot waste thrown around. Whether it's food wrappers at tourist places or waste lying around residential areas, it has become a serious problem today. But the real question is, do you know what happens to all the garbage we throw? Does it disappear on its own? Or does it stay there forever? This is exactly what this session of the chapter is all about: managing the garbage we produce. In fact, to understand waste management better, let's take an example. Suppose we collect all the waste from our home for a day. Things like kitchen waste, spoiled food, vegetable peels, used tea leaves, milk packets, empty cartons, plastic wrappers, broken footwear, or even waste paper. Now imagine burying all this waste in a pit in your garden or schoolyard and covering it with soil. After about 15 days, if we observe this pit carefully, we'll notice something very interesting. Materials like vegetable peels, leftover food, or paper would have slowly started breaking down or changing their form. But on the other hand, items like plastic wrappers, milk packets, or rubber footwear would still be lying there looking almost the same as before. Why does this happen? It all comes down to enzymes. The food we eat is digested in our body with the help of enzymes. But these enzymes aren't one size fits all. Similarly, bacteria and saprophytes can't break down human-made materials like plastics. These substances require physical processes such as heat and pressure to degrade and therefore persist in the environment for a long time. Hence, this explains what enzyme specificity means. This simple observation brings us to a very important concept: the difference between biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste includes all those materials that can be broken down naturally by tiny organisms like bacteria and fungi into simpler, harmless substances. Common examples of this type of waste are food waste, paper, cotton cloth, and animal waste. But non-biodegradable waste is completely different. These are materials that cannot be broken down naturally. They stay in the environment for hundreds of years, causing pollution and harming life around them. Examples of non-biodegradable waste include plastics, metals, glass, and other synthetic materials. Today, plastics have become the biggest challenge in waste management. Even though some types of biodegradable plastics are being developed, most of the plastic waste still harms the environment. These non-biodegradable wastes stay in the environment for decades and even harm the soil, water, and living organisms. Now, students, let's come to another important question. What happens to the waste generated at our home? If you observe carefully, in most cities and towns, there is a system of waste collection where the local municipal corporation or panchayat collects household waste regularly. This waste is sometimes sent for segregation where biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste are separated. But unfortunately, in many places, this system is not proper. Waste keeps getting mixed and dumped together, making it difficult to recycle or dispose of properly. And that's not all. Sewage management is another major challenge. In well-developed cities, sewage is treated in sewage treatment plants or STPs, where harmful bacteria and toxic materials are removed from wastewater before releasing into rivers or oceans. But in many areas, untreated sewage is directly released into water bodies, causing severe water pollution. Similarly, industries that do not follow waste management rules often release chemicals into soil and water, harming the environment. But students, managing solid waste and sewage is not enough. We also have to deal with modern waste like e-waste. E-waste means electronic waste, like old mobile phones, broken computers, damaged batteries, and other electronic devices. Such waste contains hazardous materials like lead, mercury, cadmium, which are harmful to both humans and the environment. Proper disposal of e-waste is very important to prevent soil and water pollution. Another concern is plastic recycling. Though plastics can be recycled, the process itself releases harmful gases and requires proper handling to avoid pollution. And all these problems remind us of how our changing lifestyle has increased the amount of garbage we produce. Earlier, tea was served in coolers or metal glasses on trains. But nowadays, it is mostly served in disposable plastic or paper cups, which are thrown away after single use. This is why we need to be responsible consumers and practice the 3 Rs: reduce, reuse, and recycle waste as much as possible. So students, today's learning gives us a powerful message. Garbage does not disappear magically. It stays on this planet, affecting the soil we grow our food in, the water we drink, and the air we breathe. And the solution lies not just in big government actions, but also in small steps taken by each one of us, starting right from our homes. Let's now log this knowledge with a sharp summary in our final Instalights. First, we looked at daily waste and learned how biodegradable items break down while non-biodegradable ones don't. Then we understood enzyme specificity, why only certain materials decompose, and the harmful effects of plastic and e-waste. Next, we explored how sewage and industrial waste must be treated to prevent pollution. Finally, through real-life examples, we saw how small, smart choices can lead to big environmental benefits. Thanks for your time. InstaOwl's videos will be back soon. Goodbye.